could you just tell me what your name, your role, and who you work for?
Thank you. I'm Dr. Zainab Dangana, and I head Sustainable Technology Services at Wates Group.
So could you tell me a little bit about your career choices and how that's led you to your current role?
Yeah, it's actually been a long journey. And by background, I'm trained as an architect, and I've worked in the construction industry for over 2 decades across Africa, Asia, America, and UK. My early years in architecture were incredibly rewarding, but after about 10 years, I realized that I wanted to make a broader impact beyond design to influence how buildings are delivered, operated, and sustained. And that led me back to university after 10 years of working in the industry as a mature student. And at that time, everybody thought I was crazy. You've got a good job. Why do you want to go back and retrain? I was like, but I just felt I needed to do it at the time, and which is the best thing I did. So I went back and I completed a master's in construction management. And at that time, I was also pregnant, but I was able to pull through, and was really pleased that I graduated with a distinction. Wasn't expecting any of that. And then later on, went on to do a PhD, which was sponsored by Wates Group. And the PhD was very much applied on helping the business identify innovative technologies for their client to be trialed. And if they would work, they would then be rolled out as part of a standard specification. And the PhD was highly successful, and which I thoroughly enjoyed, and I was very passionate about it. And I continued the research as a postdoctoral researcher, expanding the work to other customers of Wates Group to deliver tangible benefits. And the outcomes of that research directly inspired the creation of Wates Sustainable Technology Services, which is what I lead and manage at Wates Group. And through this service, we help our customers and the business identify, select, and implement proven sustainable innovations, helping them achieve their net zero targets.
What motivates you day to day in your current role then?
So, like I said, in my current role, I support both the business and our customers to find better ways to design, build, and maintain net zero buildings. So, my work is very much about understanding our customers' needs, identifying the right innovative technologies, and facilitating trials and installations to accelerate the journey to net zero. And what really motivates me is not only helping our customers navigate the complex decision-making process, but also connecting them with proven technologies that could be difficult to assess and evaluate. And clients and end users consider the task of selecting the right product as a complex decision-making problem. And I'm really pleased, and what motivates me is that the role I can play as a catalyst and a facilitator to bridge that gap to help the end users connect with the right products. And I also find it incredibly rewarding to bridge that gap between demand and supply side. So turning innovation into practical solutions to deliver real environmental and operational benefits.
So what have been the biggest challenges you've faced as a woman in a male-dominated industry?
So I guess generally women do face challenges in the construction industry, but when I reflect on my journey, I think I've sort of had more challenges. The reason because being a woman from a minority background and working in the construction industry that is male dominated, I have faced a number of challenges, and the industry has historically lacked diversity. And early in my career, I was often the only woman and frequently the only person of color. And that came with its own set of barriers. And at times, I felt I needed to work twice as hard as I needed to. There were times when my voice wasn't heard, not because of my capability, but because of perception. And those experiences pushed me to build credibility through excellence. And I mentioned about going back and doing a master's, and that was one of the reasons where I needed to prove myself, and because I thought I wasn't good enough in what I was doing. And that's the reason I went back into academia as a mature student and then further completed a PhD. And that journey helped me build my confidence and my visibility in the industry. I probably didn't need to do that, but I had to do that. And but what I've done is that I've turned those challenges into opportunities. And um, if I hadn't done that, I probably would have been doing a job that I would have never been happy, and I would have been just sad. So I think is to sort of turn those challenges into opportunities is what I would encourage all women to do.
What do you consider to be your greatest achievements in your career so far?
So one of my proudest achievement was the creation of sustainable technology services, which developed as a result of the PhD that I did, which is a strategic offering that bridges innovation and the business needs and connecting the end users with innovations. And eventually, this has led to the development of the Wates Innovation Network, which is our online marketplace of over 100 products that anybody in the industry could go and connect. So I usually describe it as our marketplace and Go Compare website, where anybody could go and say they're looking for a product that could save water for residential buildings, and it would filter out the right products. And anybody could connect with our suppliers. They don't have to be a client. So I'm really proud of the initiative and the impact it's making, not only on helping our customers and end users accelerating their journey to net zero, but the support that we're providing to innovators and helping them to scale and grow. So just one more to add in terms of the key achievement that I'm really proud is that over time, rather than working with individual clients, I'm now working with the sector, and I'm able to leverage the power of collaboration to scale innovation. And that's really been impactful. So I recently completed a project where I was able to get 5 leading banks and building societies together, and we worked together and helped them identify products with the agreement that each bank and building society would trial the product, and if it works, the other banks and building societies would roll out the technologies. So this is a collective approach, and really sort of proud of initiating it and helping sort of carve the way to bring about systematic change.
Excellent. How would you describe your leadership style, and how do you think that's evolved over time?
Would describe my leadership style as collaborative, and I think just because of the nature of my job, I've got to make sure that I keep everybody happy, empowering, and purpose-driven. And for me, leadership is about creating an environment where people can thrive, where they feel trusted, supported, and encouraged. And I've sort of really brought this into sort of my day-to-day job, because innovation is risky. If you go to a client and tell them to use an innovative product, they would be a bit sort of worried and they wouldn't want to try the technology. So what I do is I take them on the journey, try to understand what their barriers, their challenges are. I try to understand what their key selection criteria are. Based upon that, I then identify products, but rather than giving them a short list, I get the suppliers to present directly, and they get to hear firsthand and review the products and score these suppliers based upon the criteria that they would have identified. And based upon how they have scored and prioritized the product, I would then produce a report. So it's a very collaborative and empowering approach that has worked really well with my role.
Have you found that you've had to change your leadership style?
I guess I've always been collaborative. I think right from a child, I was always one of those that brought all our neighbors' kids together and played. But I guess I've been very hands-on. I'm sort of more of a perfectionist, and initially I would sort of expect the same level from my colleagues, but I think I'm now beginning to sort of get to a point where I'm like, okay, fine, 80% is okay. We can now move on. So I think I'm now sort of learning to sort of enable others and say, okay, we can be 100% perfect. So I think that's something I've learned.
What guidance or advice would you give to young women aspiring to come into this field now?
One, I think that a lot of girls, women think it's male dominated. Yes, it is male dominated, but I think there's an opportunity in various ways. You don't have to be on site. And I didn't know this till I started to work for a leading contractor. And I realized that there are jobs in marketing, there are jobs in finance, there's a project manager job. So it doesn't have to be a proper construction job. So there are lots of things that you could do in the construction industry. And also, there's a lot of flexibility. So I think a lot of women worry about not able to sort of have a family and have a full-time job. But maybe I'm lucky that the company I work for has got the flexible working pattern, but I'm guessing it's becoming more of a norm. So don't allow sort of maybe having a family sort of deter you from going into a job. Maybe my thing would be probably just ask and see what the companies have to offer. And there is a lot of flexible working to support young families.
What do you think are the key skills that women need to succeed and to help them kind of really drive forward their careers?
So the industry is evolving rapidly, and success requires a blend of technical expertise, strategist thinking, and people skill. So understanding sustainability frameworks and digital technologies is going to be crucial. So is the ability to communicate, collaborate, and influence change. So I guess I would probably say stay curious, adaptable, and be authentic, and always be ahead of the curve.
What actions can women take individually?
There are many ways for women to build momentum in their careers. I always encourage to join any professional networks. The easiest way is to join the ones on LinkedIn, which are usually free. And even if you're a bit of a quiet person, you can just sort of get sort of the feeds through the networks. But we also have women in construction. We've got Women Engineering Society. A lot of companies have their own internal sort of women groups. If they don't have, the ladies can actually start one and create that. And then also mentorship, training, and community support are really valuable. So try to sort of find where these are and get more involved with them. And try to be more visible, speak at events where there's an opportunity, share your work, be a bit vocal on LinkedIn, be proud of your contributions. And I'll probably say just try to be more visible in terms of what you do and stand out.
Why do you believe more women should consider a career in the energy technology sector?
I think women could play a key role because they could bring a different perspective, and they are creative, they've got empathy, and this could be vital for innovation and problem solving. So to any woman considering this path, it's just not a career, it's an opportunity to make a lasting impact and to be part of the solution for a cleaner and more sustainable world. So I would definitely sort of encourage women to sort of enter this space.